Hello, guys. Welcome to Blaze Bleed Power Rankings. We have today Dragon Lobster with us
Oh wow.
and Conn
Hello, I'm back.
and Habane. Sorry it took a little bit longer, guys. We were trying to get our schedules fit together so we could do this, but here it is. So again, a few reminders. This is not like a rule. Like whatever we place these teams, it doesn't mean your team sucks. Doesn't mean you cannot perform and all that. Again, take it with a grain of salt. It is just opinions. It's just what we think personally on some teams and whatnot. But we always usually tend to see teams at the bottom of power rankings winning against teams at the that are up there and stuff because of synergies, weird ways, player styles, and things like this. And we never take player styles and player skills into consideration. So again, it is just a fun little thing we do and a few notes that we have about these teams. All right. So we are starting off from the worst to best, and the team that all the mods voted on and got the least average numbers on were Aurora Dracos. So, yeah. Con, you want to start us off with this one?
I think there's a couple of real things. I think the biggest thing is that Tatsugiri is the sole hazard remover, and that's not a real Pokemon. It does so little in singles. You're never gonna want to bring it, but you'll have to remove hazards at some point, and then it's not quite being a Pokemon down. Obviously, it can do things, but it's not a great spot, and it's an exploitable weakness to hazards.
I I don't mind Tatsu as like I don't mind Tatsugiri. I just think if it being the non-Terra can make it a little bit Like Terra Tatsu is pretty real of a mon. Like surprisingly with Terra Blast and its coverage, Water Dragon is really solid. And I've used like scarf sets in monotype and it did well. And I wouldn't be surprised if an offensive set could work in regular drafts and like specific matchups.
I've not seen
I
it
agree
with
with that.
TRL, just you.
Yeah. Well, like I agree with Gon in the sense that as your soul remover, I don't enjoy that, of course. I don't like soul removers to be very let's say paper thin. Tatsugiri is not really taking a lot of hits. And the other thing, like with this team, that really bothers me is the speed tiers. Like, I don't think they're good. They're very on the lower end, and you don't have really webs to set you up and put you nicely into a spot where you can make use of those lower speed mons. And I always hate a mega Pokemon as your highest base speed because again, you are very you suffered a lot into Scarf Mons. It can just take a really good chunk out of you and really abuse that. And I guess maybe something to enable Excalibur aside from good hazards because like the hazard game with Nihilego and Tinglu is just really good. But what is really making Excalibur just go out and like have its way? You're got some really weird what's it called? Screeners and Tapu Bulu and Nihilego and like I don't know. I just think it's a bit odd. Like the pivot game is also very, very lacking. So yeah, those are my issues with the team. Of course, it has some strong things. Like I said, it has
Mhm.
good hazard game. It has a really good spin blocker, and the Megalo Bunny is really good. Excalibur, if it's good, gets going, is really good. Terra Blacephalon with Scarf Specs is a good mon, but in general, it just seems very unbalanced.
Yeah, like its offensive
Yeah.
pieces are really nice here. Like,
Mhm.
it's, yeah, but it's like, can it be carried by its offense? Like, I can see the team doing well if built
Mhm.
correctly, but I can definitely see like another thing I just realized is it's pivoting. There's not much pivoting with it, and Mega Low Bunny kind of wants those pivots.
Yeah.
Like you have GU tuners and Volt Switches.
Electros.
Yeah, Electros is pretty much your main like pivot guy, which is a good
It is
pivot.
your only.
No,
It
Megalopunny
is
counts
their
as
only
U-turn.
Megalop,
Yeah.
but it can't U-turn into itself.
Oh yeah, Orange just appeared, guys. Get ganked. Yeah, but also the problem with like if you're running Terra Electros, I would expect that sometime or another they're gonna want like to try to coil and stuff like that, because it's an interesting mon having the levitate with the Terra, but yeah, and then it's gonna have to be your slow pivot most of the times. It's just really clunky, you know. I just feel it's weird, and it's limiting some mons here. Any final considerations, or should we move on?
I'd like to point out this
I'm
is the
happy.
one team in Nat decks that doesn't have a single Pokemon with defog.
Yeah, that
That
is true.
that is one thing with this team. Yeah.
Don't worry, he's got toxic. All right, let's go to
Every-
Naymats.
True.
Everything. Yeah, let's go.
Next up, we have
So
Naymat.
far-
So, one thing also I want to point out is that in general, I actually really like these teams because I feel that most of the teams in Blaze could still really do really well, and they're not just as odd as the other divisions. So, like, I still see that it's better. Regarding this team, uh, I think it's just really, really odd. Um, First of all, I don't think a Selgar. I'm not a believer in a Selgar. I'm sorry. If a Selgar is a good mon and you love it, that's good on you. I understand it has good like it's a fast Encore mon. It's got U-turn. It gets knockoff. It gets spikes, toxic spikes. I think right.
Like
That's
a
cool. That's
final
all that.
gambit.
Yeah, but again, it's your top speed mon being a Selgar, and then you not having anything
Yeah.
above that 115. That is not real to me. So that is my issue with this team. um Hammerod, everybody knows I have a hate relationship with it because unless you're Conn, it is never
It's
hitting
so good.
ceaseless edges. If you're Conn, it's great.
Hammerot,
If you're not
great.
Conn, it's gonna miss. And
Hammerot
yeah.
teaches Smeargle ceaseless edge.
Exactly. Spear is worth more. um And yeah, I think that's just it. Just think it's a bit weird, and I would probably
Yeah.
like somebody that could maybe enable Kyurem here better too. Like you do have better screens in this setup, but again, with these
Mhm.
Dragon Ice types, they really want people that can actually allow them to just go ham and get them
Like their
going.
stabs.
And I
Yeah.
feel this team does lack a bit. Dragon?
The pivots as well here. Like,
Mhm.
there's a few guys that can pivot, but it's one of the things like it's like yes, it's slow, but it seems also surprisingly bulky. If you just look at like it can take hits. Like I can see like a bulky Kyurem like sets working well, but I feel like it might get forced into like specs or scarf sets or just DD sets in general most weeks.
Yeah.
Orange?
Bulk isn't an issue at all with this team because they've got Terapagos, Rotom, and the Claude.
Oh yeah, I think the defensive part of this team is actually the better part of it, unlike the other one. I think it's the opposite in that sense. Con, do you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, I think like there's parts that I like a lot. Like Hammerod is so fundamentally busted in what it can do, and having
Yeah.
that to enable Kyurem that can clean so effectively with Scarf or DD is just very nasty. But I also think that like, yeah, it would be nice if there was like Slow King or something to give Kyurem chances to set up more freely with the defense boost or spam blizzards and things that can just make him much more effective as a cleaner.
One
But
thing that I really want to see is the Metagross using the Terra offensively because I think that
Yeah,
could be really
Terramagros is
cool.
fun.
Yeah.
I like the Terramagros over the like Zygarde. Like, Zygarde 10% is cool, but I think Metagross is, it's so like its typing's really good, but that extra stab or that, better stab bullet punch.
Mm-hmm.
I also just
Yeah.
realized like Honor Thane, flip turn. Like they do have flip turn Samurott, which is a really good like pivot as well, which I forgot about. Like AV flip turn Samurott is a pretty good pivot.
And also, Mian
yeah,
Xiao is a good mon. I feel like there
Yeah.
are good mons. I think Rotom is a very good budget mon. I
Yeah.
think Togekiss is a good mon. Like we've
Yeah.
already touched on them individually, but how do they collectively work
Mhm.
together is where I'm failing to see like how good that's gonna be.
Yeah, they also have 3 good like AV like users, which is really nice. Because Samurott,
Mhm.
Mienshao, and Metagross, all 3 can run AV. Because usually, like those 3 are pretty commonly just attacking.
Mm-hmm.
Which
All right, let's move on to Loki then. So Loki's team, we actually just watched the match together. It actually won, but that was sad to watch those Willows. Yeah. So the good points that this team has, its offensive power is amazing. You got Dragapult, Terrakin Gambit, Mega Gardevoir, Urshifu, Ogerpon, Dundee. That is so much offense, and I really like Tentacruel as a Gloomon. I think it just
it's so
row
good, honestly.
compresses in a team this offensive. You definitely need it. It's a good has a remover. It can flip turn. It's great. Shuckle, I understand for the webs and whatnot, and it can work really well for this team. And like Urshifu Mega Guard really enjoyed that. But that's the problem for me with the team from there. It's just Glacier is just
It's
there
just
for some reason. I don't
it,
know why.
it's just a vibe.
And again, the speed between Dragapult and Ogrepon is kind of not good. But otherwise, like
Mm.
I think it's a really good team. I was surprised it got down this bad just because of the sheer offensive power that it has. While most of these
Mhm.
actually can still take a hit or two, even though they're just mainly offensive mons. Maybe I would like it if Dundee Tyrion was Terra, but again, that's a point issue.
Yeah.
Again, offensive power, amazing, incredible. Defensive power, definitely lacking completely, and a few gaps here and there to fill.
You
I
can,
personally think this is a team after my own heart. So
mhm. Like I think you could like I feel like you could get something other than Glacier. I love Glacier. It's a pretty cool mon. I just think for
It just
this
doesn't
team,
fit here.
yeah,
Yeah.
you already have King Gambit, which is already super slow and bulky, like, and because you're not Terra Glacier, you can't get rid of the ice type, and which there's matchups that you don't need it. Like maybe like I could see it doing well in like the Kira matchup or the Baxcalibur matchup because but neither of those guys has like snow setters, so it's like you're not getting that big buff as well. So it's a weird. I don't know. You can probably just get some other guy to help there, but
Con?
I think the lower speed tiers on this draft just kind of don't exist. I think that's a potential pitfall. Like below 97, you go straight down to 50. So any like mid speed, bulky offensive Pokemon never has to think about running speed EVs at all, which is exploitable. I think it's also just like I don't know. I think like it's just a lot of good offensive Pokemon, but like
yeah.
Shuckle and Glastrier, like Shuckle's slightly real, but barely, and Glastrier, I also just don't see it here. So it feels like a lot. You can just prepare for the front seven and hang out, which they're a good top seven, obviously, but I think
Yeah.
those are the two big issues I had with it.
I'd say top six to be honest, because like Tentacruel is just completely 100% utility and helpful,
Yeah,
but it's
utility's
like
nice.
just yeah, it's just gonna help your team. It's really not something you need to prep against technically. Like you're not gonna lose a game because Tentacruel is there, you know.
Bro, look at all the pivots as well.
hmm
Just you
No,
have
again, I
it's so
think this team,
good.
if it can maintain pressure, especially with the webs up, it is so good. But yeah, maybe like trading Glastrier to get a ghost type that can help out either your bottom
Yeah,
speed tiers or
just been
after
block.
Wolgirpon and Spin Block, that could actually make this team really good. Like, or maybe just another utility tanky mon. I think like even a Dusknoir or something, I would prefer to
Mm.
see here just so it can actually take some hits and be able to spin block.
I is it weird to say Sableye could be interesting on this?
Yeah, yeah. Like the problem
Good.
with Sableye is the bulk part, but
Yeah, it's
otherwise,
not
yeah, it's a great
bulky.
mod.
Yeah, it's not. I could see it working well, but there's probably
Yeah,
some lower tier ghost types that you pick up to do the
yeah.
job.
Orange.
Oh, I was just agreeing.
Okay.
The ghost type over Glastrier would be a little bit better, so that way, if someone tries to fuckle with Shuckle, they fail.
They do have Dragapult as
And
a
be
ghost
careful
type,
against
so
ground
yes,
types. Ground types really love facing this team because your only
you have
thing
one
that's
immunity.
immune is Dundee, and it can and is very much rock weak. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I can give a can Terra and to like fly in or like a resist, but it's like it wants to be an
Yeah,
offensive type
it's
and
most of the times it's gonna be terrifying to be honest, especially because flying is just really good offensively.
yeah.
All right,
Okay.
that's it. It's a
Yeah.
good team.
Yeah.
Just has some issues defensively. All right, let's go
Move on.
next to Brave Mini. Okay, so again, we are seeing a trend here of very offensive teams most of the time. So we
Cartana
have
Sun.
Kartana-san, which we saw, and it was really funny. It was really good. The Solar Blade spam was just too much to handle. I would argue that Torko and Scizor are anti-synergy, but again, Scizor is dying to any fire move, so it is not really changing anything. I mean, it's got some of the standard Sun things with Walking Wake, Roaring Moon, just really great. Lando T is a really good mon. Like it's a good team. I actually enjoy it quite a lot. Maybe overlap in speed tiers and whatnot here and there, I guess. But otherwise, it's a good team. Probably get
Yeah.
a grounded poison would be necessary here, just so you don't have to deal with toxic spikes. But it's a good Sun team.
Yeah.
It has a lot of power. Dragon.
I was gonna mention like it's like their spinner. It's like their spinners is like Avalokitsu and Torkoal, but because it's Natax, they actually have three like Pokemon that can use Defog, and all three are okay using it. Like Lando
Mm-hmm.
can be offensive, but it can be Defog. It's fine. Kartana sometimes usually has an open like slot, and then Scizor, a bulkier Scizor set could work. Like Roost, Defog, U-turn, Bullet Punch or something. I think that's pretty
Yeah.
cool of a set. But yeah, I like this team. Very offensive. It's could do some cool stuff.
Yeah. Orange.
For the first time in my life, I've seen a Sun team where not a single Pokemon takes 50% from rocks switching in.
No, there are two. Oh no,
No, it's
not
a
50.
50.
Okay.
Yeah, there's actually no
Yeah,
mod.
yeah, 25.
That's
Yeah,
that's true. That's kind of cool.
that's true. Like
No quad.
this team deals well with hazards with just how much removal it has. But
Yeah.
again, probably most teams just gonna look at this like Torkoal and Avalok can spin easily, and then the defoggers and just like I'm not gonna bring hazard into this thing.
But also look how fat, like, this is very offensive, but you have Screamtail, like some matchups where like Avalok Hisui can tear into like this like really good like defensive typing and just raw stuff. Like Roar
Yeah, I
Moon
think
can be
for the most
bulky,
part,
Roost can work too. It's like,
the problem
You
with
can
Avalok Hisui in
beat
this team for me is that most of the times there's actually no real reason for you to bring it because it just has no synergy in the sun or really gonna do a role that you need it with this team that's just gonna want to hit hard and be very offensive. So Screamtail I
Sturdy
think is gonna be
Casta.
very, very overloaded in the defensive end, but otherwise, yeah. Con, any thoughts?
I think like adding to the Screamtail thing, I think like with Scizor, obviously you'd ideally want Sun not to be there because like even if it's dying to every fire move, like so many Pokemon get Weather Ball now, so it's just a way you can plan to hurt it with Pokemon that couldn't before. But like with Screamtail, Scizor, Landorus, and then Torkoal Avalog to a lesser extent, like it can run a solid bulky offense balance team in theory. I would like there to be more hazards. Like there's rocks and there's like good rockers, but there's no spikes, toxic spikes, anything that I can see, which I think is unfortunate.
Yeah. That system can run
And
that hyper offense style. Because I feel like Hisui can't be sturdy cussed off with rocks. Like I can see that being
yeah,
like HO lead style can be annoying.
Mhm. I think maybe if you shift out Scizor and probably Avalog to something that fits the team more, I think the team could actually be like really, really scary. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good Sun team, but it has flaws like every Sun team.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up we have the man, the legend, Mr. Lazy. Now, Lazy is odd because Lazy is one of those players that has a very unique and different play style. He's just very, very odd. He does not play standard at all, and his team kind of reflects that. So, it's slow. It's a slow team for the most part. Aside from Chiyu and Mega Diancie and Cyclozar, again, your top speed mon not being something very threatening, I think is an issue. I like the webs for Ursaluna because Ursaluna and Okidogi, I think both can actually make really good use of webs, and I really love Terra Okidogi. And Rotom Wash plus Corviknight, I think is just such a great, solid defensive profile that you get with these two. They can actually do a lot to help out and set up the rest of the team. So I think it's definitely a really good team. I think probably have Hazard a better Hazard game because you do have a spin blocker there, and Mega Diancie as your sole rocker is not cool. I think that's not exactly what you want to be doing with Diancie to in and whatnot. But yeah, Orange.
The fact that Cyclozar made it to round 8 is funny.
Mm-hmm.
It is fun. I think
yeah.
Rhythm Wash is also like we talk about how defensive it is. I feel like with webs, like a nasty plot set could work very well in some matchups. Like it's not
Mm-hmm.
a common
Yeah,
set
definitely.
outcome, but like specs or like just anything with that was webs could be so crazy to see. I'm interested to see how the team
I think
plays.
this
We
team.
we going to
Sorry.
school. Okay.
I think this team is so reliant on web sticking because, like, the speed control without webs, Cyclozar is not speed control really. Frostlass is not speed control, so it's Scarf Chi-Yu, I guess, without webs. And like this, but like then the spin blocker is Frostlass. Like, it's hard to make web stick on this team as it is. Like, I think Frostlass it's a solid low cost ghost type. It can spike, it can do a good few utility moves, but it's not gonna spin block. So that means that the speed it barely exists, and where it doesn't really do speed control without the webs. And I think that a few changes to have like some real way of keeping hazards up is kind of needed here if it's going to work as planned.
You know what I kind of feel like this team lacks is that Auramon that you just like look at it and it's just like your big boss Mon that's just gonna be like, yeah, this team is playing for this guy. Well, I think that we have a lot of really good, strong, really good Mons like Ursaluna, Mega Diancie, Chi-Yu with Terra. I don't know, like none of them feel that aura niche of just like, an Iron Valiant, a Dragapult, like those top tier picks that you're looking at, you're like, yeah, this is the first thing that somebody's gonna prep against.
No
Um,
Terra Water Walking Wake.
again, the big
Sure.
boss one. But yeah, I think it's just probably that. Like, it just really well rounded damage wise. It just can do a lot and stuff. Maybe lacks a few things here and there, but definitely can do well, especially
Yeah.
in Lazy's hand. All right, let's go move on to our mod, Gwyneth. Gwenian, our very own Onion. Now, Terramew, love it, especially in Gwen's hand because I think Gwen's a very creative player. So that really makes me happy. Um, he's got triple psychic as his top three. I did not see that until now. I was just like,
It's
wait,
so
what?
funny.
That's actually funny. Gligar is really good here because his team really lacks a lot of hazards outside from you. And again, I think if you draft Terra Mew, it's such a waste to put it on support duty. And yeah, and other than that, it's a very, very, very slow team. Very slow team. And I was even talking with Gwen in call before, and like it's
Mhm.
just so slow. And I think this could be a very big issue. A lot of overlaps and speed tiers and whatnot. And yeah, this team can suffer a bit because of that. Dragon.
Mhm. Like the team is slow, but the offensive stuff it has, and also the amount of U-turn. There's so much pivoting on this team that's really hard, and it's a pivoting move that you can't block, which you can get into. There's like that scarf, like Lele or Specs Lele, it just nuke stuff. Melmetal is very annoying to kill, and it's offensively really hard to deal with. And with Rillaboom, you can have that earthquake like weekend for it, and also just makes it not die. You could be like leftovers with grassy train up, and you just won't go down. It's like
I,
there's some crazy stuff.
Melmetal with Rillaboom, I think is actually gonna be really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
A weird thing is the surges. He's got
Mm.
grassy and psychic
Double
surges. It's kind
surge.
of
Yeah.
funny. Yeah. Con.
I think uh, somehow it's the team has done like quite a good job at not making Shadow Ball or knockoff like super free. Like but Mandibuzz and Zoroark Hisui make that like you actually have to think about it a little bit, which for a front three of all psychic types is kind of important, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it seems it seems like a very annoying team to use, but also it can do so much and it has so many ways to threaten you at the same time. And it has gloom for some reason.
Orange.
Or that sleep powder.
And a grounded poison, a very real grounded poison.
Yeah, gloom exists. That's all it needs to do.
I
Just
think it's
hanging
actually kind of
out.
funny because I feel like Gligar and Mandibuzz in terms of play style, I feel they're very similar, or am I just like tripping? In terms of being very good, like defensive mons that are immune to ground, and they both can roost up, they can toxic, they can defog, and things like this. I just feel they're just
Ah,
very overlapping in the style in the function that they do. I could be wrong, Gwen probably has a reason why. But aside from like
I see
the
the game
hazards
plan.
and foul play, I think they're very similar in that sense. But like, yeah, it's a good team. It has some really cool things. Like I said, I think like Melmetal with Rillaboom is gonna be really cool to watch. The Terra Mew and stuff. Very excited to see Poliwrath drafted for the first time ever since I've been playing this game. So it's but just some weird things there and here also, and yeah.
Common theme is weird teams that could definitely work well if you're
Yeah,
not.
but
If,
again, I
Trivia
also
here,
think,
guys.
and I've told Gwen before that I think he also drafts. He's similar to Lazy in the sense that they have a very their own play style, and it's often very different. And they see things in Mons that are usually people don't see that are that good, and that might be good on paper, and they actually have they can make it work. So I think that this is also like where Gwen is really good at, is just getting these quirky teams that for us is just like this is a bit weird, but it's good, but it's weird. And he's just like, no way, mud, this is actually insane. Look at this team, and he'll actually like prove it to you, like, no, this is actually good.
yeah.
All right, let's move on to AJ. So one of my masters, one of the people that teach me, AJ is a very good player, but I actually I think I was probably the person that least liked this team. First things first, Iron Leaves. I hate this mon. I think it's very bad, even as a Terra captain. This team has a lot of weaknesses, a lot of spammable things, knowingly Dark and Ghost, and like Gwen's team. I don't know if you guys recall, but he had like 7 knockoff users, so it could just really spam into this team because it has a lot of those weaknesses. It again has 3 psychic types, no 4. It has 4, yeah. Um, it's just odd. Like I think the top 5 I'm really happy with. I think Terra Boulder is amazing. I know Dragon's a very big fan of it. I
No,
love
mine's strong.
Cinderace. I love Cinderace so much. I think Cinderace is such a good mon. Empoleon is such a good mon. Orbeetle, we were talking about how everybody just thought it was very cheap, yet this is the only team in the draft that took it. But then we have just some like weird stuff that I think is just clunky, which is like Mega Altaria. Uh, Everybody knows my thing with Brambogast and Indeedee. So like a few weird things, but yeah, it has good offense, but I think it just has a lot of weaknesses. But the speed tiers are pretty nice. Con?
Yeah, you can speed tiers.
The speed tiers are nice. I think the fact that your dark switch is Mega Altaria, which does not start out as a dark switch, is an issue. Like you have to get that Mega'd quickly, or else there is no other dark resist on this team in like 6 dark weeks. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 6 dark weeks. So that's it's very exploitable. And like everything else about this team, I quite like, but that one weakness is so glaring in particular, and like Ghost to a lesser extent because you have one immunity with Indeedee, but I mean even then, like you can play around an Indeedee if you want to run a Ghost spam, a Shadow Ball spammer against this team if you really want to and if you're good. So
Most Shadow Ball
it's just
spammers
quite
also get Dark
exploitable.
Pulse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or like
Orange?
some other neutral stab.
Orange, want to say anything?
I think they've got most everything covered, other than like Terra Iron Leaves is
I'm
a
not,
choice.
no, I'm not a big fan of that guy. I
I think this is the first time that we were all like, yeah, we don't like this Terramon.
like you have Boulder wants to tear like pretty much 99% of the time. I've used like this is a team I've kind of used before. Like this is in Natex. I used it in like I used this kind of team in like Powdex with Dio Speed, Iron Boulder, Lando I, and had like Indeedee. Like those mons are
it,
like they can
it's
do some crazy
side
stuff.
spam, but it's side spam and single. So I don't know how much I'm gonna really enjoy that. Like I'd say, I would ship out Iron Leaves and Indeedee for something else, and especially like to help out with your resist and your type chart because it looks really bad at the moment.
I
Like
like
this is
Indeedee.
the first team where Bug is actually viable. Like you
Yeah,
can actually run bug moves and be pretty good with it,
yeah.
and, which is really
That's
odd. Like again, I love the Landorus, Cinderace, Dio Speed, Iron Boulder, and Polion up to there. I really like it, and then after that, it's just very odd.
I just
Probably can keep
I just
Bramble,
realized
but
he
I
was
would
put around
change it.
Indeedee. You just put the bad NDD.
It doesn't matter.
It
It is
does.
the
No,
same
it actually no, it
bad.
does. The speed teams are different.
Yep.
It's still bad.
No, it's
That's the thing. It's
not.
not
The
No,
speed
it's
changing
tiers
in this
are
game.
it's
still good.
Wow, look at that. It is still getting fucked by Dark and Ghost and has
Hey,
the same issues.
don't sleep.
Wow. Who changed it back? See? It doesn't matter. It's the same crap
No,
basically. But yeah.
but yes, Indeed actually gets a couple cool like supportive moves. It gets what's it called? It gets Encore. It gets Healing Wish, or really two sets. It gets Trick, I believe. There's like it actually has like people don't think it like some people forget it gets Encore in those moves. It's like NDD is actually pretty cool of a mon. Like
But one thing I will say is offensively,
I
again,
agree
this
with
team
most
actually
stuff.
has a lot of good offense, and it can definitely still perform and get wins.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's go on to the next one. Now, Conn, you're up. So you want to start us off talking about your team, what you like about it, what you didn't like? Review your secrets.
Right. So I had first pick, and I was like, yeah, let's go with Megaladios, because I had a lot of the other default first picks in other leagues, or one thing or another, and then, that one. And then after that, Terra Annihilate, I just wanted a big focus, and then Aloha Mola supports that, and then from there, things started to go a little bit like everything I wanted kept getting taken, and I kept going, and then I ended up with Stunfisk, but that's fine. Stunfisk is a cool guy. He'll be a lot of fun because he can come in on grassy terrain, and I have a grass type Stunfisk. Isn't that fun?
A
And then I
great
have no
choice.
electric immunity.
No,
Isn't that fun?
what you do is you put, like Misty Surge on Enamorus. Yes.
You're so right. And then I have a fairy type Stunfisk, and isn't that fun? And
Somebody else
so
is
Valley
like,
might be real. It learns a lot of moves in theory, but
oh,
it, I don't. I don't know.
You know what
Uh,
makes me
I sort of
cry?
like it. What makes you cry?
The fact that the Pokemon that is literally a bear does not have rough skin.
That's true, but it can become
Or
a grass
the-
type.
It doesn't even learn Jaw Lock.
I
All right.
I also think one cost Wobbuffet is good and funny. I think that'll be annoying for at least one person in the season.
all
Oh
right.
yeah, behold, counter.
I think your top three offensive mons are very scary. Terra Enam and Annihilate are amazing, and Megaladios. I think you hit the spot on that. I think up to Enamorus, I really enjoy your team. It was after that that it started getting clunky and weird for me because like
Yeah, I ran
Kilowattrel,
on
I think it's
points.
still fine. I think it's still a good mon. I really actually value it a lot, and it could be bias sake, yeah, because this thing always performs against me. Yeah, sure, but yeah. Silvally, I am not a fan of Silvally because Silvally to me is just one of those mons that on paper it looks so good, and then when you actually play it, it just feels so bad. It just feels like you want to run this, you want to run that, and you're out of move slots. The 95 across the board is just so odd. It can be bulky, but offensively, it really isn't getting that much out of it because it's such a low base. And I don't know. So my in not being able to use a normal item, just like because it has to use the RKS system.
Yeah.
Sunfisk, yeah, like you said,
He's just a
you
funny
just ended
guy.
up with it. Um, I don't even think it's the worst thing about your team, but yeah, you ended up with it. Incineroar,
I
I'm
think
not a very
it has reasonable bulk. Stunfisk
yeah,
is a reasonably bulky, and with wish support, it can hang around for a while and be a
yeah.
nuisance, I suppose. And I got
Inci-
sniped on Gligar in round 5.
Fair
So
enough.
what can you do?
Blame Gwen. Incineroar
Exactly.
again is very limited in terms of what he can actually accomplish. I think as a supportive bulk mod, it's decent and useful. Otherwise, no, it's kind of lackluster. Wobbuffet again is memey, it's funny, so I really don't count that. And now this is actually one
No,
pick that I
Wobbuffet's
actually really
kind
love.
of real if you under prep for it.
The thing that I love
Yeah,
about
if
your
you
team is actually this thing. Tangela for me is very underrated for like it's one of those shitters that is actually good in my opinion. I actually
Yeah.
like this.
Its
So I
boat
think
is
your
kind
team,
of crazy.
like you said, you got sniped and everything, it definitely has a lot of really cool things that you could do that would just go really offensive and whatnot. But unless you're using Sylvali as a ghost type to be a good spinner to all the to having one of the best hazard setters in Glamora and whatnot, this team does suffer a bit in other aspects. Like it has faults, but in general, I think it's still
Yeah.
cool. And also, like you just got a lot of the same Z speed tiers, which isn't really ideal. Dragon.
I agree with like the stuff you were talking about. Like Tangela is a really cool like lower pick. Like there's some funny guys that can do some silly things, but like I feel like the two Terras is like they might fight over Terra because Terra like Ape wants a Terra to be like bulk sets, but you could have like those weeks that you can be like Terra Enam and do like a more like a Scarf Ape or like a different kind of version like AV Ape over going hard Terra with it. Like that's my issue with like two high tier Terra caps like that.
Yeah,
But
deciding because
they fight.
if you go one, you're not using those points for anything else. So yeah, I understand you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea was that it would force a bunch of prep, but also like even I ended up with no money from pick 5 onwards. I ended up with about 30 points left or
Yeah.
some shit.
Yeah,
I
like
was
I
like,
Yeah.
think
I
you
think
know,
these
if I was
these
making
three are good
changes, I'd
budget
cover
picks.
off one of them and
yeah.
retool things a little bit.
And so Vali's just gonna be that jack of all trades for you in terms of like the typings and whatnot and supporting
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
sets.
It's
But
just
again, it's the
everything.
jack of all trades, master of none. So it's that's my issue with them on Orange. I know you're a big fan
Yeah,
of
it's reasonable.
Enamours Incarnate.
Yeah, never before could anybody ever run choice specs contrary Terra Blast, Terra Stellar.
There you go. That's
Oh,
his
Yeah.
fool, you
opinion.
Terra'd in front of me? Die.
Goodbye.
All right.
That's funny.
Let's go to the next one. Next up, we have the other dad in the division. We have Porix,
Greninja Sand.
Ninja Sand.
Yeah.
It's not
Um,
as bad as Greninja
th-
Sun.
this is actually also another team we were talking about before we got to recording. I like this team because, like, again, you have the tried and true combo of Tyranitar, Terra Excadrill, excellent, amazing. Grand Ninja, I think, can actually benefit from these things because he's just gonna pick up stray kills here and there, which is really nice. I think your last pick being a Latios at round 9 or 10, is
It's
amazing. That
aura. It's so.
yeah, that is really cool. Yeah, I am a big fan of Latios. I drafted, I think I picked it round 3 or something. I really like this Mon. Galarian Weezing, I think, is really good. And then we have these three. Um, I have a problem with these three because I don't like Amoonguss and Blissey. Like this is just personal taste. I don't think they offer enough to justify drafting them most of the times, unless they're in very specific teams that you need them. Volcarona is a problem. I just don't feel like you need it here. You already got Gran and Latios to do the special attacking shenanigans and whatnot. And Volk is just kind of odd because you're on a Sand team with Volcarona. It just feels a bit weird. And I don't think Volcarona you can slap on any team, especially because your spinner is Excadrill. Although you have really good defoggers, I think, with Gliscor still being good and Wheezing, it's just odd. And like Gliscor, I think like Gliscor's a good mon, but is it needed here? I just feel like you don't need it in this team. It just invites some same weaknesses that you already had for no reason, where you could be shipping it out for something maybe more useful, especially since it's not a very cheap mon. And I think that those would be my issues with the team. And again, what I think is really good. Dragon.
Like, I've seen a lot. Like, I've seen people run that Grin, Sand Core. Like, those three I've seen together and like plenty of times, and they work well together because Greninja, isn't the mon that is, bulky. So it doesn't really care about taking some HP of chip from Sand. So like that's cool. But I do agree with like the bulky guys. Like Blissey Teleport is cool, but it's like it's big thing. It's just being like a deaf guy. Like it's physical defense, like you're not gonna throw it out at like and those like big guys. So I'm like, I
It's
guess,
just weird.
I guess plus it doesn't have bad pivots. Like it has 3 turners, has the teleport option, and flip turn Latios?
And flip turn, yeah.
Yeah. I think so. It's not bad. But yeah. Like this definitely can work well, you know.
Orange.
I mean, yeah, I see it doing pretty well. They could invest if they really wanted to. They could drop like Blissey maybe and slap Terra on Gren just for more options, but I mean honestly, I would drop Blissey for Chansey.
Mm-hmm. Just
Yeah.
because the Eviolite
And
makes them
I
a
don't
bit more
remember.
bulky. Yeah.
I don't know the price difference between them, but
It's
yeah,
like 2 points.
it's just
I
two.
don't think it's even that. I think it's their one.
Yeah,
I don't
so,
Yeah,
remember.
it's not much.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not much, but it would just be a strict upgrade for what its role is on the team.
yeah,
I also like
and
with Greninja and Latios that even though both are special attackers mainly, they actually do have two different niches in special attacking. Latios being more like Scarf and Specs, like I want to just hit really, really hard. Gren being that not as much damage output, but having that faster speed and being able to clean up better, and even having that utility of going with other things like maybe Toxic Spikes as hazard setting and things like this. And the hazard game on this team is really good. So for Gren that needs chip to get damage in with sand and the hazard that this team has, it can actually be pretty good. Con, you want to say anything?
This team's been giving me a headache all fucking week. I've thought about it too much.
Oh yeah, your
I'm
face.
I'm I'm glad it came above me and Pior's because now I can like deflect in post game chat when this team that hard
oh, my
counters me
favorite.
beats me. Well, I mean, it finished above me. I didn't really have any chance,
I
you
don't have
know.
any G. That's funny.
But like Guizing even hard counters Stunfist. I come in on it, Stunfist becomes a fairy type, gets hit by Sludge Bomb. What are we doing here? Like,
Exploding.
oh.
Exploding.
But
Oh my
yeah,
Uh,
I think it's a pretty good team. I do agree that Blissey might be too passive for what's trying to be done here. I think I get wanting wish support with guys like T-Tar, but also T-Tar is kind of the only thing, maybe Guizing to a lesser extent, that benefits from it. I like Amoonguss. I think that Amoonguss is good, and having some regen in sand is reasonable to compensate for the chip when you want to go a bit bulkier, and Spore is annoying.
yeah.
That's my opinion on Spore.
I just realized
god.
there's
All right.
no ghost
So
here. Like, I feel like with Gliscor, you want a ghost type if you want to,
What do you
yeah,
mean? You have Terra Ghost Excadrill.
Alright.
you're so right.
Uh, this is
Alright.
about the time where we go to the next one then.
Yeah.
So finishing just above his dad, we have his son, Leo Ryan. So another guy that was able to get Tapu Koko and draft a little electric surge core with the
It's
Iron
not
Maw.
as bad as the others, though.
I actually think the others were better, honestly, because for I remember Bruce got Terra Crown with Iron Val Coco. No, was something else. I don't remember. Anyways,
It's Iron Val
um,
Coco.
so there's a few things that I actually really like about this team. So first of all, you have Slurpuff. I think Slurpuff is a really good Weber. I actually think this mon is very underrated. And you have webs for Urshi. I always love that. You have webs for Iron Thorns, which is pretty interesting. For Mr. Iron Moth that can just really go off and not have to always be doing those weird EVs to run booster speed. So it's pretty cool. Swampert is just solid slap on any team. Serena is a good remover. I love Terra Iron Thorns also. And Celesteela is very, very solid. I just think this team is so solid and it's really good. I really like
Mhm.
it. Probably just have a bit of a better speed tier after the drop off of 95 and a bit faster mon. Like again, if you have webs, it's normally fine, but you don't have a ghost type to be able to maintain those webs reliably. So probably that's the direction I think we would need to change or do something to fix. Otherwise, I really like this team. I think those are my only issues with it. I think it's just very powerful. Um, I don't know. Maybe I would like Iron Moth to be Terra over Shifu, maybe in this
Yeah.
team because I think it's just more important for the team because of Quirk Drive. But yeah, It's a good team. It can hit really hard. It's very like obvious like what it wants to do. It has an identity, and I like that. Dragon.
I agree with you. The team is very solid. It's like I can definitely see Iron Moth tier over Urshifu. Like I don't know what the point difference, how many like points between them off my head.
Mhm.
But it's like Terra Urshifu's still good. Like I think it can
Oh
definitely
yeah.
work out. Like either one being Terra's good. Like Iron Moth likes it more, but I understand, not having both your Terra guys Cork Drive, dependent. And like I see
Mhm.
the idea there. Well, it's just like just in general, it's like
Mm.
Celestial is just so annoying. That mon can win games on its own if you're not careful. So you have to be careful
Mhm.
about the electric terrain, the Urshifu. And then there's just Celestial there. It doesn't care.
This team actually had like four mons that wanted to be Terra captains. It's actually insane. Celesteela also wanted that. Iron Moth. And Serena, as Auk has shown me, Serena needs to be a Terra captain. I was wrong. So
uh,
yeah,
So
Bro
wrong.
got boomed.
boom.
Con, what do you want to say about
I
Little
think
Man?
it's like pretty solid. Like you've said, like I mean the top four are they're just nasty here. The speed tiers are quite reasonable.
Look,
It's
look at the base
like
72s.
the team is just generally there are quite a few base 72s. I did not catch that. Aside from that, which
That's
is
funny.
something. The it's also like Webb's Urshifu is just mean again. Like there's lots of good stuff here.
I
Yeah.
think if I
It's a
would
good
change
team, enough
something, it
team.
would probably be Yuxi. And it's not even that I think Yuxi is bad or that I don't like it. I think it's a fantastic mon, but it's just
Mhm.
because I think you need to do some changes, like to make this team really pop off and like be really, really amazing and reach what you want to reach and being that ghost type and fixing that speed tier. That I think Yuxi is the least needed mon here because bulk wise this team is just really good. Orange?
It. I
Do
personally
we
would
need to move
prefer.
on?
I personally would prefer if they had Terra on Moth, but there's no way I could think for them to get it without making their team worse overall. So I guess we'll just have to accept Terra Urshi and Terra
Oh,
Iron Thorns.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh
so bad.
no,
Such horrible
my
Terra
steak is so
Captain.
juicy and my lobster is buttery.
Jeez. I move on.
But he missed the fucking fries. There's no
Yeah,
fries.
there's
Oh
no.
well.
Well, no, it's because he already fucking ate them all.
All right, let's
Slurp up
move
got
on
him
then.
good.
Let's move on.
Next
Yes.
up we have Jelly Aura. So whenever we see a Terra Goldango, that's already a win. That's a plus. That's amazing. Tapu Fini, amazing. Sneasler, amazing. Um, I just love the team up to Chestnut, and then I hate the last two. That's basically it. Why? Because this team is just really good. In general, it can just really hit hard from both ends of the field with Darkrai Goldango covering your special physically, Megazard and Sneasler, and then you have like really good utility tanks and whatnot. I don't think you have as great utility mons. Like sure, Clado and Zatu, but again, I don't think they're all that great. And the momentum on this team, when you're relying on Clado and Zatu to be your momentum bringers aside from Sneasler, that is very rough. So like to me, the issue is that those last two picks I think were just really bad, and I don't see what they really give your team aside from hazard removal and you don't have that 110 speed. Plus, they're just weak to Ghost, and Ghost is very, very spammable into you aside from Darkrai. But yeah, Darkrai takes chip, and yeah. So that's basically it. I think it's just really good. The offense is great. The core of the team is great. But can you really justify bringing Clado and Zatu to a lot of matches? Probably not. I think it makes you a little bit more obvious on what the types of things you're going to be wanting to do, and that's basically it.
I think Claydoll's fine
Dragon.
on. I think Claydoll's fine on this team. Like
Yeah,
it's a
Claydol's
good.
fine.
It's a that being your spinner is completely fine. The guy is. It gets a lot of cover, like random coverage, like Ice Beam. It's like it gets its like Earth Power, gets its sidekick Ice Beam. It gets a lot of
Yeah.
interesting stuff. And it's like, yes, it's slower, but its bulk is not bad. Like it's one of those mons that you throw like a resist berry and it takes, plus it being a ground immunity with levitate is cool. Especially with this team. It's like, yeah.
Orange.
Yeah, Claydol's fine. Zadu, I think, should be banished to the Shadow Realm.
Don't talk bad about Zatu. It's a bad mon, but it's a cool mon.
Zatu's only
So
here
you
for the
think-
speed tier. That's literally what that's the only thing Zatu's here for. And maybe like a magic bounce prediction.
But hear me
Kinda
out
rough.
here. Glimmet.
Oh
Glimmet.
god.
Actually, imagine Glimmet like
Glimmet can do some funny shit.
it
Whereas
can't.
Zatu kind of cries.
All right, Conn.
I think I just clocked this like as you guys were talking. There's a misty terrain and which cancels out Dire Claw on this team, and I just noticed it, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that is really unfortunate.
You'd think I would have
You got
noticed this
the
at
one-
any point before live recording, but yeah, that's about as much of an anti-synergy as can be, I suppose. Also, weakening Zardex, unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like
So
the
swap
dragon
Tapu
stab.
Fini for Tapu Grookey is what I'm hearing.
Dawagurki.
Okay. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Ah,
we've got to get some
Like,
thwacky up in.
to be fair,
Exactly.
To be fair, if
it
we
would be an
yeah.
upgrade.
just I guess with Sneasler, like the Tapu Fini with Sneasler, maybe just not run. There's weeks maybe just not run like Dark Claw, run Gunk. I guess.
choice
Like
banded, choice scarf gun.
Yeah.
yeah, and like Charizard.
Yeah, like I think these
just
four are really good, except for this Misty Surge Darkrai issue. Like this
can-
is really, really good.
it could be
And
telepathy as well. Like it could be non-terrain. Like,
Mega Zardex is still a decent mon that can set up and go off, and these two are really good defensively. Like again, you guys said you liked Claydol. I don't. I still think it's an issue. But yeah, I probably like this team less than most other people, mainly because of these two. And I would not tear a Chestnut, not because I don't think it's good, but probably to just to get more points if possible, so you can upgrade this final part right here. But yeah.
They don't even have Steel Roller, so they can't. Sad.
All right, let's move on.
when we start talking about Steel Roller, it's time to move.
Let's go to Virgil.
Right?
All right, so Virgil, he talked to me before the match apparently because he had Habane style luck on his week one. Poor guy. Well, yeah, the team regarding his team, Zera or around 5 was pretty good with around 6 Latias. Those are really good. Terra Ferrothorn, amazing. I think this one's really, really, really good. Terra Keldeo, I think is one of the best Terra captains in the game. Garchomp is incredible. Spectre, if you have a team that can enable it or a good player that knows how to make it work, it's a good mon. Otherwise, I still think it's a fraud, but I think like it still works here because your setup mon is Keldeo. Zeraora is your more main pivot mon, and it can also do a little bit of special attack damage. Then you have your other damaging mons here. So Spectre is just gonna slap on Choice Scarf, Choice Specs, hit hard, or even be able to fill those utility niches with its good speed with the Willow misses and things like this. And Drapion and Colosso, I think are pretty cool mons for the amount of points they are. Bat is actually not a bad mon. And I fail to understand why Metang is here. Like, I don't know.
Rocker.
I honestly, yeah,
Just
I'm very like,
explosion. Choice band
oh my
explosion with
God.
Hang.
I'm very
Thanks,
unaware of what
Orange.
Metang can actually do. But yeah, so I think it's good. I think it has a lot of good things that it has going for it. But yeah, probably just like preference wise, another mon or two to be switched here. But I think it's just really solid. The Terra Captains are going to give people a nightmare to prep against because Ferrothorn is an issue. And if it's tearing all over the place, this is going to be a very big problem. And you got fast momentum on Zeraora, which is always good. That base 143 tier without you having the drop off to the next one is really awesome. And you have Healing Wish Latias that can Healing Wish really a lot of these good mons like
Yeah.
Keldeo, Ferrothorn, Garchomp. So it's just really really cool. I like this team.
Yeah.
What do you want to say, Dragon?
Like you mentioned the speed tiers. Like they have two mons that are above. Like you got that 143 and 130. That's really good because it could open up words. Or then one of them to be like a setup option, and one could be like like a Scarfer to outspeed another mon that's like underneath their speed tier. Or they both can just be offensive, like could be specs banded, depending on Zero Aura, Spectre like Nasty Plot, those kind of sets. It's like it has a lot of scary pieces, and like the special like offense with Spectre plus Keldeo is really scary to deal with.
Mhm.
I like the Terra caps. Like I could see Fairthorn, like I could see Fairthorn's Terra to be with Colossal as well. Like those two mons are pretty cool. With our annoying bulky mons, with Terra gets out of that typing that can be kind of bad at times.
Mhm.
I kind of like them. Like I kind of like pretty much all of the mons here. Even Goldbat, he's just a funny guy, and it does
Yeah, I
stuff.
think it does stuff exactly. Con?
I think I like quite a lot that there's like lots of hazards to like get chips to get Spectrier into those ranges where it can like set up and sweep at the end game. But the only real issue, I don't love Golbat or Matang. They're fine, and I think Colossal without Terra as like the only spinner on a team is on a speed team with hazards like this is a little questionable because you don't want to click to fog, I think, with
Yeah.
this team. So a slightly easier to bring spinner, I think, would be nice here.
Yeah.
I think that's my main issue.
Maybe ship out Colossal and Manting to upgrade a spinner, right?
Or I guess
Something like that.
that, or maybe like Terra Colossal is real, but you don't really want Terra Colossal over Keldeo all the time.
Or over Ferrothorn, I think.
Yeah.
I think the Terra Captains are really fine. I wouldn't
Yeah.
change them.
Yeah, I think they're completely fine.
Yeah.
I was just
Orange?
giving an interesting option.
Yeah, Matang can go.
But it
It's a
knows
miracle.
explosion.
He's listened to
You know
reason.
what else
It's a
it knows?
miracle.
See, no,
Orange
I'm not
listen for
listening.
once.
We're replacing it with Glimmet. You
All
need
right, let's
more
move on.
hazards
love
on
that.
that
Let's go
Okay,
on.
spinner.
let's move
You have
on.
no hazards
Next
at all.
up.
You need more.
We have Zach. Honestly, this is the type of team that I would love to draft. I absolutely love this team. I think the speed tiers are fine. They're really good. I think you have really good, nice combos. Glow King bringing in a Terrace Titan is always fun. A slow pivot for you to bring in Tornadus, Ogre Pawn, and Hydreigon is really good. Sandy Shock's amazing, Mon. The pressure this team has offensively is just so nice. I'm just like, I just think this team can do a bit of everything really, really well. It's got good hazards. It has removal. That's the issue. The removal is only defog for again you having good hazards. So not ideal. Probably wouldn't be nice to get a spinner. And yeah, I think aside from liking a spinner, this team has it all. I really, really, really enjoyed this team. All these mons are actually viable
Mhm.
mons that can come to a game and be useful and actually have an impactful role. It has a lot of pivoting. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just really solid. Like if I'm prepping against this team, this is a nightmare to prep against. So like, good luck to
And
people.
this is also very annoyingly bulky. Like you
Yes.
have the region,
Yeah.
you have Roost Scizor, you have Synthesis Wellspring, which non-Terra's Wellspring is pretty cool. You don't, normally it's that Terra Cap. It's like, but you have that Terra Torn and Terra's like Titan. Makes
Yeah,
Wellspring.
exactly.
Hydreigon gets
Normally, I would
Roost.
say like
It's
you need it. You need it to Terra, but again, you have such good Terra captains that I think it's just more preference. I
yeah.
think Tornado Steering can also go without Terra, but it's just so good with it that it's fine.
hmm Yeah. And it's like just like chipping this team down is hard because so many mons can't like has recovery, and you still have Dashbun that can wish. It's not the best wisher in the world, but he's a dog. He's just cool. And also, Corsola with Strength Sap can just
Mhm.
like beat down some like physical like mons. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I can just go in and go against this mon, Strength Sap, Nightshade, and just chip you down. It's like The Mon is so
Yeah, it's a
annoying.
really good value ghost. I like
Yeah.
using it a lot when I need one.
Yeah, and Sword and Shield. Ooh, that Mon was. I hated facing it. Anytime I
Curse
would.
body's also pretty annoying.
Yeah, Curse
Yeah.
Body's just that good. It's you get the proc. Oh yeah, they knock or not if they knock off, it's annoying. But say they're clicking their stab move, it's Curse Bodied. Well, you can't hit it with that anymore.
I also think it's really cool how flexible the offense is in terms of what kind of sets they want to run. It's just really nice.
Yeah.
Orange, do you want to say anything?
I have a slight personal preference. I like this team a lot. I personally would like to have Terra on Hydrai, but that's
Hello?
just entirely my personal preference.
Okay. Con?
I got swept by a Terrace of Titan 6-0'd in a mock with red last season, so I respect Terrace of Titan just
Yeah.
off of that, the
Actually,
memories of that.
yeah. I guess you do. One thing I just noticed is I guess the item lock on Scizor and Wallspring, but it also makes some good like knockoff switch-ins. So
Mhm.
ignore me sometimes. Like I was just thinking
It's
about it.
still also like a really good water immunity just in
Yeah.
general. I think it's just really
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
There's just no
Like
removal minus defog.
defensively, it can also help Hydreigon a bit in Torn T, which I think is really cool, along with Glow King. So it's really
Mhm.
nice. Yeah, I just think the
Yeah.
team synergize well. Like it's very good. It's very versatile offensively. I expect the team to do really good.
Yeah.
Next up, we enter our top three. Our bronze medal goes to Kowtow. Kowtow. I don't know how to pronounce it yet. We've never talked in VC. Um, Iron Valves are rude. Damn.
Who let this happen?
Yeah, this is insane. Like I'm very surprised that Terra Zarud and like Cowtown was like picked seventh, I think. He was like towards the middle of the draft, and he was able to get
Yeah.
Terra Zarud
Mhm.
round two. That's pretty insane. Like I have a bit of more of a problem with this team. I actually prefer Zach's team, the one before, because I think Toxic Pex is such a buzzkill in a lot of teams because of its play style. Like I don't think it's a bad mon, but I think it can be abused, and I think that depending on the team it's on, it's not good. And this is one of those teams that I think is not good. So why? Regen mons are really normally always great, but I think that your defensive cores are really good, and you could probably spare to get a mon that's more useful and actually doesn't kill your momentum entirely on a team that already suffers on momentum a lot, with Rotom, Jirachi, and Crobat being your only realistic momentum getters, as I doubt you'll be using U-turn and Zarude much often since it's your Terra Captain. And Iron Vow I think is a great revenge killer, but it would really benefit with a slow pivot Mon. So and we don't have that. Otherwise, like Smeargle, fine. Rotom, I think is a good budget ghost type. Crobat is fine for the speed tier. Not the greatest thing in the world, but you still have booster speed Val and all those types of things. And Avalug. So yeah, my main issue with that is this. Like I think you need more pivoting, and Toxic Pex is a buzzkill in that sense. But otherwise, the team is really good. Yeah, Con.
Yeah.
I think adding on to the Toxapex thing, I think the biggest, like, Toxapex is good if you can make Taunt hard to run against your team, because if you don't have Taunt on whatever your Toxapex thing is, it can just, like, if you're setting up, it'll just click Haze. If you're or Scald or something, but like this team, it's there's a lot of things you'd like to taunt, I think. So it's a super easy bring on things that know it, so that can turn Pex into a momentum sink very easily, which is not ideal. Like I liked using Toxapex on another team, but it is exploitable, and this team does not have enough to cover for what makes it exploitable, I think.
Agreed. Smeargle's actually nice in this team because I
Yeah.
think the other mons like Garchomp and up, Heatran, Jirachi, Zarude, Vow can really make use of it.
Yeah.
Dragon.
Like this can definitely. I do like the Smirk on this team. Like I can agree with Toxic Pex, but I've also seen it do like work, like in other leagues and all that. And I know Kowtow, it's pretty, good at the game, so can probably figure out like ways to use it and it not be super passive. But it's like I like that Smeargle could be like some type of like hyper offensive like set because like their team isn't bad for it. Like if you get webs up with Iron Vow, Zarude, and Mega Garchomp, they're gonna struggle. Like Heatran offensively is also scary at times.
I don't know why
Yeah.
but I see Blastoise being really good on this team instead of Toxapex. It gets you flip turn. It can still do the Hay shenanigans, roar stuff.
Yeah, I
You
think
know,
Blastoise would look nice here.
yeah. Orange.
I'm just laughing in my head of Smeargle and the slow hazard setters. So they can't do Jaw Lock, Encore, no retreat. It's a crying shame. But
Oh my
That's
beyond that,
so
God.
Smeargle
sad.
here is
Someone
god.
could finally run that set who wasn't you,
Hey,
but now they
hey,
can't.
hey! What?
Yeah.
Imagine this though. Like you use that Smeargle, you do like imprison Sticky Web, Final Gambit to screw over Shuckle. Imagine.
No. You
It'd be
do
so
Power
fun.
Trick to screw over Shuckle.
You guys are
Because
getting
if
off
you let him
topic.
go.
Focus on the
Sorry,
team.
yeah, it is.
Right. My bad, good sir.
Sorry, I was
So,
cooking.
anyways,
You
Shell
can't
Smash
see a
starts
Smeargle and
Shake.
not get excited. It's incredible.
He's just a funny little guy. What
Yeah.
can I say?
Yeah. What do you like about this team aside from Smeargle?
Solid tanks to just eat hits, and then
Facts.
a good defensive core.
Yeah. And then you got Vow and Zarude to just,
We
do
don't talk about their offense. It's gross.
Mega Chomp. Actually, I actually think Mega Chomp can actually do pretty well in this team.
Yeah.
It's usually not really talked about much because we just value Garchomp over it so much. But I think it could do it well here for sure.
Yeah.
It
Plus
would be
not.
really funny if you were Choice Scarf, Sandstorm, Smeargle.
I mean, for you to
Shut the
use
fuck
a
up.
fairy type and an ice type into this team, you have to go through
Jesus
Heatran and
Christ.
Jirachi, and that just really opens up
Yeah.
Chomp so much.
Also, Chomp with like Mega Garchomp also just got like boosted with Scale Shot. It makes it like
Hmm
1+, get +1 speed. You're still outspeeding pretty much most things. Like it's a crook type style situation. Like that mon with Scarf is annoying as can be. This guy gets a skill shot up. Oh wow, it seems like clicking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on
Yeah.
to number 2. Monkey. I'm just gonna say it. Great Tusk, Iron Bundle, amazing. Dragonite, amazing. Tinkaton, Sinistcha, Moltres, Overqwil, Raikou, Miltank. So good. So good. And then you have Spidops to the webs. The only mon I don't like here is Carbink. Because it's a good screen setter. It's a good rocker. That's it. It doesn't bring anything else. And I don't like mons like this that can't switch out. So it's not reprocking those screens easily and just going directly into the mon that you don't want to take damage. Because if it had like a slow pivot move like Baton Pass, go into Dragonite, start setting up, woohoo, you just have fun. But aside from that, yeah, Sinisha, the best Terra Captain you could have gotten for this team for sure. Miltank, very underrated mon. It's such a good beefy mon. Raikou is pretty decent. And like you just have a lot of stapled mons that can just deal with threats all the time. Like Moltres, Tinkaton, Sinisha, Overqwil, Raikou, Miltank will just deal with a lot of threats that you want them to deal with, and that just opens up Dragonite and Bundle and Great Test to just win the game. It is a bit more defensive than what I normally see from Monkey, but I really like this team. I think this is definitely like top 2 team for sure.
Yeah.
Con?
Very
Well, it is second.
Yeah. Con, go ahead.
Orange, you'd know this. Does Carbink learn Explosion?
Misty
Yes.
explosion.
Misty Explosion.
Close enough.
Yeah,
It has
it's
pencil.
shit explosion. It can blow up. That is all that matters.
With those
Momentum,
50.
baby.
Yes. All right. So yeah, you set up
But
screens that
yeah,
blow up. Fair enough.
I think it's a pretty good team. I think, yeah, Dragonite is like quite scary to clean up at the end of all of this. I think the bulk like largely does enable guys like Tusk Bundle Dragonite to clean up at the end. Tusk assuming like with a spin or whatever.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think everything just kind of fits. There's like the removal, I mean, even just off Tusk and Moltres is very solid. The hazards are very good. Like it just kind of has everything without any real glaring flaws beyond that.
Great spin blocker
Yeah.
for the webs.
I think one thing that people were gonna forget about is like this is Nat Dex, so Dragon Knight actually has the wind beat, which will make it a very scary as well. You have that like good flying stab with Dragon Knight, like it's already being a menace without it in SV. This is Nat Dex, and this thing gets so much good coverage as well that makes it
There's also
unpredictable.
there's also the fact that Dragonite is inherently worth more on this team due to the fact that no one else can have Iron Bundle.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I also love like the point management that Monkey had because he was able to get like a lot of really good solid bonds for such good prices in Moltres, Overquill, Raikou, Miltank, Sinistra. And like Raikou can also be opened up to go offensively here with Calm Mind sets and whatnot. And being that water type, oh that electric type that you can't really switch in grounds freely because it can get scald, is just really, really nice. So I think this team just like fits everything, just covers for everything basically. You have an answer to absolutely any issue that you might encounter. um and yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to number 1, which is Monkey's girlfriend, Ager. This team is stupid.
What? This,
Like we were talking also about this
Mudkip.
team before.
that's my guy.
The speed tiers are not the best things in the world, and like Mudkip kind of turns you into an 8-mon roster,
That's
which
my
can make
guy.
you a bit more predictable and stuff. But otherwise, it is just such a good assembly because you got Iron Thread, Zapdos, Petron with Gouging Fires. Your defensive core is insane, and then Manaphy and Masquerada to just go ham is amazing. So probably like aside from the speed tier, and I think like maybe the Dunsparce is also kind of irrelevant here. I don't think it's like needed on this team. You could probably get something more speedy for this team that you need.
Oh, he's cool.
But otherwise, yeah, it's still not a bad Mon. I just don't think the
Mm.
fit for the team is perfect. But yeah, this team is really, really, really good. Just because it can just absorb hits and prepare itself to just counter you back all the time with how much pressure it can exert defensively, and that can turn into an offense very, very, very fast. Not great at spikes or toxic spikes either, and no solid damage right off the bat. That's also another issue that this team will probably encounter. Is just
Yeah.
that it lacks immediate outburst of
Yeah.
damage.
Unless like banded gouging could be I guess is one potential.
Yeah, or banded Meow's Karada, but again, it's your fastest one, so a lot of times people are gonna scarf against it, and you're gonna scarf to counter that and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Eh.
Orange.
Mudkip.
No, there you go.
I
Yup.
go.
Thanks, Orange.
We had to. Mudkip might go. Good spinner. Yeah, Tread's Pecharunt is gross.
Everything is so fucking gross.
Every
It
like
is. It is
Meowscarada
so
would pair
gross,
with
it's
every
actively
single
make-
mon here, like in an act. Like I literally have a draft with Meowscarada plus Mesprit, like, but like Meowscarada Tread's common combo round 1 and 2. Meowscarada Zapdos common combo round 1 and 2. Same with Pecharunt, and they have it. They have it 1 through 4.
entirely.
It's actually funny because this top 4 was what I tried to get, and I got 3 of them, but somebody took Zapdos from me.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Also, Terra Manaphy is a menace.
Amazing.
Yeah, I
Amazing.
was really thinking about getting that before I got Ape. It seems so. It seems very mean.
It's
Yeah,
great.
The Dunsparce can and will just stun lock someone with
Yeah. And-
flinching or paralysis the entire game.
And bulky sets are not bad.
Yeah, it can
Galea,
just make
Roost,
people
ooh,
unhappy.
Yeah.
And really just want to
Mudkip
make the
can-
other
I guess
person
can
unhappy.
deny explosions.
Yes.
Yay!
I-
Mudkip is to
Carmaker
hard
will not
counter you
explode.
from
you
another
know,
division.
I might be biased, but Mudkip is cool as a mascot. That's my guy right there.
Oh, it's cool,
Oh,
but
I
it's
think
not bringing
if you're
anything
gonna have a
to the table.
mascot
No,
pick,
it
that's the
gets-
funny one.
It gets Endeavor. You just don't sleep on it. Focus Sash should lead
I'm
Endeavor.
sorry, my mascot is Pooper, so and I have won a game with it before, so
Fair enough.
Might go.
So like again, I think this team has a bit more flaws than the other teams, but I think its defensive core is just so amazing that it just kind of just overlooks those.
Yeah, the
Yeah, what
highs
are
are
you gonna
so high
do?
here, even with
Yeah.
that.
What are you gonna do? Click Brick Break into Zapdos?
Or Petra.
Yeah. And the speed tiers are not so bad that they're like easy to exploit. Like you have to work at it to get a significant advantage out of it.
Mhm.
But even if it's not like incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it, guys. We've wrapped up Blazebeat
Mhm.
power rankings. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, please understand this. This is just opinions. We can be very much wrong, and most times we are, especially Orange. Anyhow, I hope you all have a
Okay.
great day, and we're signing off for now. So everybody say bye bye. Dragon,
Goodbye.
Conn,
Bye.
Orange,
Don't blow up.
bye bye, guys. See ya.